back. It's always funny when people say, "Oh, we're back." Well, obviously you're back. You're talking again. We're back. In case you noticed by the sound of my voice, we are back. We're in studio with special guest Trevor Warren, who's the founder of CoreQuest.ca, which is based out of North Van. And Trevor leads a team of registered counselors that all specialize in marriage and couples counseling. And we're talking about a course that Trevor Warren. I think you have one coming up in June 12th. And this is how I'd first heard about you, because someone was talking to me about the course and saying how epic it was and raved about you. So it was kind of cool to get in contact with you and now hear about the course. Trevor's going over one of these 7 essentials to communicating with your partner. And this one is basically about staying calm in arguing. And you're mentioning that sometimes when you don't feel like the other person's getting your point, you just try to rephrase it or say it louder.
Yeah,
now they'll hear me. If I just say it louder, then they'll, I get what you're saying.
Doing the same thing over and over again,
another person
expecting
does
a
the
different
same
result. Kind of insanity, yeah.
And that in your body, like scientifically, you actually you do get dumb. You're saying like your blood. What was that again? The blood valve.
Yeah, the capillaries in the so if you get slashed in your arm, the blood capillaries go to the center of your body, like they constrict, so that you're less likely to die.
Mm-hmm. And when you're fighting or arguing with someone, you feel your brain perceives that as a threat, and the same thing happens.
Absolutely.
And that actually, cognitively, you do get dumb. So, I loved how you put it. You said, as your feelings go up, your
thinking goes down.
Your thinking goes down.
Yeah.
So you had a great acronym on how not to be dumb, but to be smart. So we covered S and M. So S was stop what you're doing. M was make a return time,
right?
Which is a lot of guys. They're like you said. They're either they're deciding whether to fight or flight. So they decide they're either fighting, they're running out the door for a walk, or they're frozen solid.
Right.
So if you are going to run out the door, make a return time. You're saying, and that should be at least 30 minutes. So now we're going to cover the A, R, and T for the acronym SMART on how to stay calm when you're arguing. And we turn it over to Trevor Warren.
Right. Excellent.
Right.
So
there we go.
So yeah, like what I was saying, a minimum of 30 minutes. So A actually is for allow for cool down and awareness. So it kind of covers things, allow for cool down and awareness.
Okay.
So because this is a physiological response that's wired into your central nervous system, you want to make sure that ideally you're going to take at minimum 30 minutes. I would say probably an hour. Depends on how far you've actually, the actual physiology has grabbed you. Like if you can pull out early, the whole, depending on how much adrenaline's been dumped into your system. So you want to try to pull it as early as you can. You're going to need less recovery time from that. But general rule, 30 minutes. You want to take yourself out of the environment that has created the intensity for you.
Okay.
So you can't just say, let's just stop talking about this
and stay in the same room? No.
Okay.
Yeah, like you know how people, I need to go for a walk.
Yeah.
I need to do something. That's really good. You want to get outside of the physical environment because there's a lot of stimulus that's reminding you and getting your mind going. You also want to remove your mind from that scenario, right? Like you can walk out the door and go for a walk and huff and puff about, and you got all this stuff going on in your mind. You want to try to get out of that completely. Let your system calm.
Women hate it, though, when men... It seems like men are the ones that want to go for a walk all the time.
But if you did say, look, I'm coming back, you might notice a big difference in terms of their response.
Okay.
Especially if it's only like 30 minutes or an hour, like you said.
Yeah, they're worried you're not coming back.
Ever.
He doesn't want to talk about this anymore. He wants to drop it.
And if you have a history, of not coming back and not resolving stuff, that builds up, and they don't trust that you're going to come back to address it. It's really that make a return time to come back and address it that is a major key in this.
Okay, so stop. We're doing SMART. Stop, make a return time.
Allow for cool down or awareness, right?
Okay.
And think about it. Calm down. Okay, what's my part in this? What's really going on here? How come I'm so upset? Bring some accountability.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's A. Okay, and then R is return.
Oh, there we go.
Return at the time that you said you're going to return. Be impeccable with this.
Okay.
So it's either return or reassess. So sometimes someone says, I'll be back half an hour. They go out, they do their very best to chill out, calm down. But they are not calmed down. They come back. If you try to start that conversation while you're still upset, it's a problem. But you still need to come back when you said you would and say, look, still upset, still having a hard time. Can we reschedule for another half hour or an hour?
Okay.
So, but that's really important. Some people go, well, I was too upset to come back on time. not a good enough excuse. You got to come back and say, look, still upset, right? So return
Gotcha.
or reschedule.
Okay.
Okay. And the last thing is try again.
Okay.
So what you do is the awareness. So you're calmer now. You have some awareness. You have some time to think about the value of this relationship and that you don't want your emotions just to kind of run the show. And you come back and you try again. And no problem if it doesn't work. You just start the whole thing over again. You stop. You make a return time, and you become disciplined with this particular process.
So to stay calm when you're in a heated, what turns into a maybe heated argument, you got to be SMART, which is the acronym that we just went through.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's one of the 7 essentials for communicating with your partner. That's so simple.
Yeah.
It's simple.
That's like, normally it's so complicated. Read this and then go and do that and twirl around. And
I've got a lot of complicated things that are really good and really work, but nobody uses them.
really just get...
So I don't go with it anymore. It just doesn't work.
This is great. So if you want to learn all of the 7 essentials for communicating with your partner, which really, communication is everything. If you don't know how to communicate,
And-
your chances of having a marriage that's going to last is like, what, 4%?
You know, and I'll just make a comment on that. Communication is a really important part, but it's not the most important part. It's the way in which we develop connection. Connection is actually the fundamental piece of what keeps a relationship together, but communication is a medium through which we do that, which often fails.
Okay.
So the whole program is actually not just about communication. It's the 7 fundamentals of what keeps a relationship good, hot, not just surviving, but thriving. And so communication is a big piece of that. But there are some people who don't have any connection. They communicate very well, but their relationship fails because the connection is not there. So it's a way in.
Okay, so
the door.
It seems like a lot of people are focusing on how to, when things are bad, how to stop the relationship from being bad. But you're focusing on not just not making it bad, but making it awesome.
Oh, exactly.
Like making it...
There's
like,
so much. You know, it's like the brain. We only use like 10% of it. I think we're really only using 10% of our relationship potential.
Yeah.
There is so much to...
Wow, this is great.
Explore, yeah.
You've got to check out Trevor Warren, CoreQuest.ca. I'm going to put the link to his website on Facebook.com/Kid Carson Show. And check out his Relationship Revolution Workshop, which I heard about before I met Trevor, and which is why we had him on the show, because I heard so many great things about it. It's a workshop for couples, Friday, June 10th to Sunday, June 12th. It's like a weekend thing, right?
Yeah, 24 hours of intensive
And
injection,
And it's down at the Holiday Inn in Vancouver, Humpkin. If you register before May 1st, the accommodation at the hotel is thrown in. So that's cool.
Yeah, breakfast and accommodation.
Yeah. So get to Facebook.com/Kid Carson Show to find the link, and you'll get all the information, and go meet Trevor, because you're the man, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Shit, man. It's great having you in. Appreciate it.
Cheers, it was great.